All right, welcome back. Sports show on the damn YouTube. College football action going down, some Mel Tucker shenanigans as well. But we'll go through some college football and get into that. So we got a Sparty over here. Not too pleased with what was going on. But Alabama against Texas, the big matchup. 34 to 24. Texas on top, knocking out Alabama, jumping up number 4 in the polls. After the big win out there, Ewers, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns. Quarterback play for Alabama left a lot to be desired. He seems to be good scrambling, but if that pro-style offense in Alabama just really wasn't cutting it, especially in a big game like this that I think Texas really wanted more than Alabama, and it showed out there as Texas knocks off Alabama 34 to 24. The other big matchup, Miami against Texas A&M. I'm telling you, even though Texas A&M really is an elite program, the fact they're ranked, this really felt like a big victory to me, at least for Miami. 48 to 33 over Texas A&M. Van Dyke, 374 yards, 5 touchdowns for Miami. Talented wide receiver core of Evan Stewart and Noah Thomas, the big 6'6 receiver for Texas A&M, kind of held in check. Only had 4 catches and 38 yards. You think Miami's officially back with just this one win, or do you need to see some more from that Hurricane team?
Oh, yeah, I got to see some more. Texas A&M's kind of been a disaster ever since they paid everybody. Miami's doing the same thing, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M's a pretty legit team as far as the talent they've been able to accumulate the last couple of years, and I love the fallout between Saban.
Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher. I love the drama between Jimbo Fisher and Saban. But Oregon, 38 to 30 over Texas Tech. Bo Nix kind of resurrecting his career from Auburn, 32 of 44, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions for the Ducks as they knock off Texas Tech 38 to 30. And Colorado, man, oh, what the hell did I just do? Slapping my shit around, I'm pulling up things like
you're pulling a Mel Tucker.
Yeah, right. But Colorado knocking off Nebraska 36 to 14, contested early. It was kind of a close game there in that first half, but Shedeur Sanders, 31 of 42, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is he the Heisman favorite right now moving forward?
Right now, he probably is. I don't see anybody else close. But, I mean, look who they've played.
Yeah.
Nebraska, yeah. They're not even a football team at this point.
I'll give you that, but it was a rivalry game, and Deion tried to fire everybody up with Matt Rule standing on the bull. Yeah. In pregame, you don't do that in Colorado, apparently. Hey, and throw your 4s up, right? Throw your 4s up here, everybody. Yeah. Michigan, 2-0. Free Harbaugh as they continue the Cupcake schedule that they have right now. 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and accurate 22 of 25. But guess what? It was against UNLV, so who gives a fuck? All right, my top 10 right now. I got Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Florida State, big win against LSU, Ohio State, USC, Oregon. I don't call them Oregon. Do you call them Oregon or Oregon?
Who the fuck calls them the other one? You gotta,
Oregon.
What you said.
Yeah,
you got to call them what you said. Right. Who does that?
Fucking Oregon. Number 7, I got Washington 8. I got Colorado in my top 10, believe it or not, at number 9. And number 10, Notre Dame. I wanted to put Tennessee in here as well. They'll have a big matchup against Florida, but that rounds out my top 10. Any complaints with that top 10 or anybody you would change around inside there? Okay, for my Heisman, I already asked you. Shedeur Sanders, Caleb Williams, and I'm going to put Michael Penix up there with Washington. He's
silently, you got to.
Yeah, he's silently blowing everybody out. All right, so what team should be in panic mode as we're moving into, what the hell would this be, week 3 of NCAA? I think I know where you're going with it already.
Can I say 2?
Yeah, go for 2. Why not?
The first one, I gotta say Nebraska.
Oh, good call.
They are a total dumpster fire. Matt Rule is not doing anything. I mean, usually you see at least improvement in play when a new coach comes in. That's the exact same team it was under Scott Frost, and they stink. They're terrible.
Yeah, losing all those close, heartbreaking games. I'm going to put Clemson up here, even though Clemson got the win. Yeah. My God, did they look awful. Now, I can't lie, man. I absolutely loved it, seeing old Debo having a stress fest on the sideline. So there it is for that. Now, I don't know if you heard about Mel Tucker.
I did.
Yeah. He was doing some weird things out there. You want to tell us what Mel Tucker was doing or what was going on over there? Man.
Old Melly Boy decided that it was a great idea to try and start a romantic relationship with a vendor of the university and somebody who's a rape survivor. And he decided to consummate it by whipping out his dick on a telephone call. Because that's just how you do it, right?
And of all people, too, right? That you choose to do that.
No.
I mean, it's just, or not even to do that, just to start a relationship with.
Yeah, it's our red line you don't fucking cross.
And he brought her to the university to speak to the players about not doing that kind of shit. Right?
Yes. Yep.
That's why she was there. To tell them, hey, guys, don't do this, don't do that.
But, yeah, Tuck's out. I listened to Valeni and Rico today, and, you and I were talking about it pre-show. They said there's other stuff that they had found out in the offseason that made them they didn't talk about it because it came from privileged sources, but this is a pattern of behavior from what they understand. Not him whipping out his dick pattern of behavior, but pattern of behavior of engaging in feeling his oats. So good riddance to that fucking scumbag. The shirt that I wore last week's in the garbage can behind me. We got D'Antonio as assistant head coach, Harlan Barnett as head coach. It can't get any fucking worse. We've got a good quarterback. We've got a good running back. Personally, after listening to those two guys talk, I think we're in a better spot now the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully we go get a good coach. Let's not fuck up Luke Fickell's hiring this time.
Oh, I was thinking over in Minnesota. What's his name? Fleck, right?
Oh, Fleck.
Yeah, I think that's your front runner. I don't think they're going to obviously do nothing now because we're 2 games into the damn season, but I think that's who they're going to probably try and pick. I think it'd be a good hire. Obviously, very familiar with the Big Ten and Michigan State, obviously, too. So I think that is the direction it's going, but it's still hard to believe, actually, when you really take a step back and look at the entire situation, like we said, that he brought her to the university to speak on what it was he actually did. Is just, I mean, you just can't believe it. If someone were to tell you that, you'd be like, oh, come on.
Yep.
But that is
to
what
paraphrase Mike Valeni today. He is one of the dumbest motherfuckers that's ever coached a college football game.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah. Tuck is fucked. Who was the comedian that did that? Wasn't it C.K. Lewis? Was it C.K. Lewis who was doing something?
Oh, yeah. He's
to
just
that?
whipping out his frickin' schlong.
Right. Yeah, like they would be in the back and he would
just a monologue that I had this discussion with the lady that I'm seeing. What grown adult thinks anybody just wants you to whip your thing out in the middle of a telephone call? What the fuck gets into men's heads that let me just pull out my dick? Like, what the? By the way, and I didn't look this up, but when was the last time both head coaches for your in-state football programs were suspended at the same time?
Oh, that's a good fucking point. I would guess never, unless I know Gary Moeller was gone. That is a very good point, actually.
I'd say probably never.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
never happened.
I think it's pretty obvious when that hearing finally happens. Mel Tucker is going to be terminated, and they're going to terminate the contract in its entirety.
On my birthday. My birthday's October 5th.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's October 5th.
Oh, well, there you go.
Man. Yeah, that's a good point, man. That's kind of like the old Predator line. Is like it's the only movie with 2 governors in it. The Jesse Ventura and fucking Arnold.
What's your opinion? Do you think State's going to be any good the rest of the year, or think they're going to just be a flaming plane ride?
Yeah, I think they're going to flame out. I think they would have flamed out anyways, but, I mean, look at Northwestern. We talked about it before. The quotes that the kids were putting out there, they were just happy to be on the field. They didn't give a fuck if they won or lost. I think that passion's kind of, gone for the winning side. You just want to get in the field and get all this extracurricular shit. In college, I think they try to protect him a little bit more with the media. Because he just got that. See, that's the thing. He just got that extension. And they've never really done that at Michigan State like that. They were giving him the keys to you have free reign for 5 years. Whether you fuck up or not, we're going to give you time to kind of get this shit together out here.
And they, I mean, in that situation though, 11-2, they had to do it.
Oh yeah,
you can't let him because he was going to LSU. He was gone.
Yeah,
LSU was going to give him that money.
Yeah. I think he was gone too, but I don't know. I just feel like he wasted such an opportunity, whether he would have succeeded or not. Because the way the Big Ten is so competitive, he probably really wouldn't have been competitive. But just his own personal life to be given, like, we're going to give you some leeway, man. We're going to give you all this money. We'll give you 3 or 4 years to try to get this as good as you can get it. I mean, he's done. He's never going to get a job again. Him, John Gruden, with all the shit, with John Gruden with those emails. I mean, these guys are done. They're done.
The other thing that I'll say too, though, with the way everything went down when Coach D left, I also don't think Fickle was the guy. I don't think Fickle is a high-impact coach in this NIL era. I just don't. He's too too Dabo.
I get that.
You have to be a scumbag to win in this NIL era. You fucking have to be.
Well, here's a question then. Okay, so if Michigan State was ready to invest a ton of fucking money to Tucker, and let's say they get that money back, which they probably will. They might have to go through a lot of legal proceedings, but let's just say they do get the money back. You have a pretty big lump sum of money that would have went to Tucker that you might be able to throw at a big name head coach.
Deion Sanders.
Now you're just being fucking silly right now.
The name that I've seen mentioned by a lot of people is Brian Hartline.
Oh, former wide receiver from Ohio State too, huh?
But the only complicating factor there is if they stink and they don't look very good, Ryan Day is gone. So Brian Hartline takes over that program. So yeah, that's a good point too, though, actually, because that would be the first job opening everybody's jumping out of. But if you do have that money, man, you could really put it out there. You have to.
See, Michigan State, it's a weird situation though, because a lot of these schools, there's at least some kind of history, you know what I mean, where there's success. Michigan State, you really have to go back a long time. And Colorado at least has the state itself and the scenery and all that kind of thing. There's always at least something there.
Well, you get the D'Antonio era for us, but before that, it's...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, John L. Smith. John L. Smith, man. Remember when he slapped the fuck out of Jeff Smoker after that game? I love you. This just gave me an idea. How about you go to New England and you talk to the former Penn State head coach, Bill O'Brien.
Oh.
That's a big enough name, I think, to pull in.
Matt Campbell, Iowa State. Mike Elko, Duke, and I heard Valeni mention them. Sean Lewis, offensive coordinator for Deion out in Colorado. Brian Hartline. Jim Leonard. Mike Tressel. That's his son, right?
Yeah, his son. Oh, Jim Tressel would be fucking great, actually. Oh, my God. Hold up. Pump the brakes. Give me Jim Tressel.
That would be fucking...
He's one of those coaches who probably make a splash just because the name the first couple years, and that's when you really
80.
have to fucking recruit his ass off. But hey, I mean, give him. All right, man. I think that's it. Unless you got anything else you want to add, I think we is done.
Yeah, done like Mel Tucker.
Oh, done like Mel Tucker. I like that. Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See ya.